In the fist is purpose, but on the wall it got all the struggles, but the fist is busting through the wall. And when she told me that vision, that was the cover of the book, but it really means a lot to you to understand that although whatever your struggle is on that wall, the purpose is in you can bust through. Everybody say my purpose is greater than my struggle. Amen. Amen. So we're going to go ahead and go over the mission statement. Minor Adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men and women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary for their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Everybody say anywhere but backwards. Say anywhere but backwards. If y'all didn't get nothing from me this weekend, y'all got that right. if y'all don't, I'm here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If y'all don't have anything, everybody say anywhere but backwards. So remember, I exposed all the struggles and all the things that went wrong after when I came out of rehabilitation. And the only reason I'll tell y'all that is because although all those things is possible to happen, none of it made me want to go back. So y'all gotta make sure y'all always get that. Everybody say to attain my sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it. To attain our sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it. And I'm telling you, we learn by repetition. So when I say that to obtain our sobriety is easy, you already, to obtain means to come into the possession of something. Don't spend no more time trying to get that. You got it. We good, right? Now we need to work on us and find out what do I need to do to maintain what I have already obtained. So remember, in August 2009, that was my last time using any substance, any alcohol. Since that point, I didn't try to go get sobriety again. There was no need. I worked on what do I need to do to stay in this frame of mind, in this particular path. So everything I needed to do, I needed to get relapse prevention skills. I need to build a support network. You're going to need that. You're going to also have to do this. It's a real big word. Ask for help. You're going to have to be able to humble yourself when you're in a situation and you really don't know what to do. Don't go back. Ask somebody, I need help, I'm having bad thoughts. And I realized when I have bad thoughts, before I would have the bad thoughts, stay in isolation and don't tell nobody. Everybody say tell on it. Say tell on it. When you tell on the bad thoughts that you are having, you take the power from the thoughts and put the power back in your possession. So before, I was not comfortable going to my wife and saying, I'm thinking about heroin, I'm thinking about using. Because I thought that would make me less of a man. But I realized that the thought needed me to keep it to myself. So whenever you have that thought, everybody say tell on it. Say tell on it. Yeah. When you tell on it, it's like, no, don't tell them. Because they're going to help you. They want the thought you have. You have to tell them. Everybody say anywhere but back. So we're going to go to page 37. Let's go to page 37. And let's go to page 37. Let's see. Everyone will learn what they need to learn while they're in the development stage. Before we go there, anybody got any questions and stuff y'all want to ask? It's me or my wife. Let's do that. If you got any questions, any pointers, anything you want to share, anything, is this your opportunity? Anything you have that you would like to discuss? All right, we good? Huh? Go ahead.
When you process, how did you know when you were changing? How did you feel it inside? Or your behaviors? Or you were doing different stuff? How did you know that you were changing in a positive way?
when I initially noticed, when I first started out, right? I knew this is the one thing I knew for sure, that I wasn't going back, right? I had that box check, okay, don't use. Whatever happens, don't use. When I noticed that I started to change was when people started seeing me doing things differently and coming alongside helping me. They like, man, this guy's trying. So I noticed I started to change by my change of thoughts, things I used to do, things I wouldn't do. Like I would always go, right? Remember I told you I would always go home to Atlantic City and show my boys I'm clean. I no longer did that. I no longer did it. I only changed when it's like, that's why the program's called Minor Adjustments. Another thing I noticed I started to change, I used to like to go hang out at night. But when it got dark, you know where I went to? Come on, you got it. So you see how it's little minor things that you might miss this. But before, when it got dark, I was going to hang out. I'm talking about after you came out of rehabilitation, I'm clean. Before, I would want to hang out. Now, when it got dark, I say, hey man, I'll talk to y'all later. I'm going home. That's how I noticed. Because the minor changes, the minor things you change, it's going to lead to something major. So
let me tell you, I knew he was different because we just had this conversation with someone this morning. Before, when he would come home from rehabs, he would always try to tell me he was different. And it usually started while he was in the program. He'd call home and he's not like this, he's not like that, he's going to do this. He would try to convince me. And when he would come home, I still was walking around with my pocketbook on my shoulder. I just shared with someone, I used to take my wallet out at night and put it under the mattress. Because if he gonna get this wallet, he gotta lift me up too, right? But he would be paying attention to that and it would start an argument. Why are you carrying your pocketbook with you? Nobody trying to take nothing from you. But why are you paying attention to it? But the last time he went away, I still had that same behavior. I still carried my pocketbook. Something looked different to me. I couldn't put my finger on it. But at the same time, I wasn't quite sure, so I still carried my pocketbook. But he never said a word. This time, he never tried to convince me he was different. And to me, I think he didn't focus on that. I think he was focusing on learning who he was instead of focusing on, am I acting different? Am I doing this different? Because one time he stayed clean on his own for a year. He was getting ready to get that, they used to give you the little keychains. He was getting ready to get that 12 keychain, that 1 year. Yeah. I was so proud of him, right? The next thing I know, he started thinking about why he was not thinking about getting high. So he started focusing on, hey, I haven't thought about getting high in a while. Then it went to, why haven't I thought about getting high? So now he's focusing on that so much. Guess what he went and did? So to me, on the outside looking in, I knew he had changed this time because his thought process was different. And he paid attention to what he was thinking on. He wasn't worried about what everybody else was saying. He wasn't trying to convince me he was different. He wasn't trying to convince his mom and his siblings he was different. He was just following the steps that was in front of him that he had to do to learn who this new guy was now. That make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Let's say in the walls, no matter where you go, there you are. You say no matter where you go,
there you are.
Now, how would I? Because I know for me it's gonna be hard. I live in a neighborhood where everything's around me. How would I go about that?
And I always say, in wherever you go, there you are, right? It's sometimes we have to just relocate, right? And when that type of pull, me, I'm from Atlantic City. Every time I went to Atlantic City, I could have how many years clean, I would relapse. Now, I only live now, since 2006, 45 minutes away from Atlantic City. Like, I'm right there. But I relocated, right? And a lot of times people say, man, relocating it's hard, man. It ain't that easy. And I said, okay, let's play it back. Okay, you say it's hard, right? When we were out on the streets, if we got locked up, they took us from the block to the police station. They relocated us. We adjusted. We went from the police station to the county jail. We was relocated and we adjusted. We went from the county jail to prison or other rehab. All those times we relocated, but every time we relocated, what did we do? No, we adjusted. No matter what position they put you in, you were able to adjust to the condition. And I'm saying that because sometimes you have to relocate from that area. Don't think about the difficulty to relocating because you'll be able to adjust to it. You have been doing it all your life. So sometimes relocate, even though eventually I found the drugs where I moved at, because everywhere I go, there you are. But to give myself the start, you have to move. You gotta try somewhere else. Build yourself up. Now, everybody see me in Atlantic City, they say, you never in Atlantic City. We see you come visit Atlantic City, but that's not by, like, I can't go. That's by design of knowing me. I know me, so I say, I gotta go. Me and my wife, we was at a beach, event with a beach for all my friends, right? But it came a time, I went to her, and what I said I had to do? Let's go. Let's go. She said, what? My friend's looking like, what's up? I said, I don't have to explain it. I'm 50 years old. I tell and my wife ain't gonna pay. I said, babe, it's time for us to go. I'm out there, they doing what they're doing, but it was time. I gotta go. And we got in the car, and you know what we did? They talking about, hey, give me a ride here. What I told my friends.
You gotta figure it out.
I'm going. He said, I need a ride down. I said, you're gonna have to figure the ride out. I gotta leave the town. Because everywhere I go, you have to do the same thing. You know you. So that's good that you know that that situation is not right. So you just got to relocate. And it's okay to be, it's okay. I'm 13 years in. And this happened this year. When I said, babe, we got to go. My friend's like, man, can you ride me to such and such? My wife like, man, that's kind of cruel. Remember everybody say I got to be selfish. See, I gotta be selfish. Because although my friend was asking me to do something, you asked my wife. I told my friend, you figure it out. I'm out. Because I had to, it's about me. So you gotta do the same thing. Anybody else? Come on, all your questions, I want you to pull. You can pull that out of me. I want you to do that while I'm here.
I feel like you kind of just answered my question, but like after 13 years, like sometimes you still get those thoughts.
Yeah, because that's why I remember the lesson I did, and I said you're going to have your own situation, spiritual attacks. That's why I gave y'all the book. You're going to have unintentional stuff. This is all going on. Remember, no matter how much you believe in God, you live in the fleshly body, right? So the thoughts is not the thing. It's what you do when you have the thought. Most people act on the thought. The thought is not a bad idea. I remember Bishop T.D. Jakes was saying something. He says, man, if I showed on the screen all the thoughts I had, you wouldn't want me to be your pastor. But he said, that's not who I am because the thought came in my head. So the thoughts you're going to have, but you just don't carry out the thoughts. That don't make you a bad person. Thank you. In the Bible, it says that Jesus or the devil haven't put the thought on his mind to do it to Jesus. He put the thought in the person's mind to carry out the thing, to do something to Jesus. But what the devil didn't know, that Jesus needed that to be carried out, to carry out his purpose. So even though he think he outsmarted Jesus, he didn't even know he was participating in a purpose. So don't worry about the bad thoughts. Anything else?
And let me remind him, not remind him, share the story. He was in rehab and he called. I have been in the house for 11 years. I love this Cape Cod. I love Cape Cod homes. I've been there 11 years. So I had been there prior to even meeting him at this time. And he called home from rehab and he said, we got to move. And I'm like, I ain't going nowhere. This is my house. I've been here 11 years. I got my hardwood floors. I got my fireplace. I got this. I'm not going nowhere.
When she say move, she talking about the whole house. We got to go.
The whole house. He wanted to move. I'm like, where? And where am I going to find a house for what I had got this house for? Nowhere, because the housing market and prices were just like ridiculous. So I was like, this joke is crazy. I ain't moving. That's not just up and move. But he was adamant, I cannot come back to that house. And that's another way I knew he was different, because he said, babe, I know where everything is around that house. I got stuff stashed everywhere. Now here I am. Where's stuff at in my house?
And I got crack and heroin all over the house. And I was like, I gotta go. And I've been going.
He knew where in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where to go get whatever. I didn't even know that.
And I could see the place right out the house. Like when I came from rehab, I was like, I told her we had to move the house. But this is what God would always give you. The people, that's why I said build your recovery support network. The people I was in a program with, I built relationships with the men that was, I'm telling you, the men that was focused on not going back. I built a relationship with them. And I said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to help each other. So I got with all the people that was focused. When I got home and I needed to move out their house and I knew I needed to move, I called all those men.
Same day.
One day, they got their friends' trucks, they got flatbeds, they got whatever. We loaded up the house one day, all day long, put stuff in storage. We went and got a hotel and everything. Move. They helped us move. And I'm still friends with those same people. That's why your support network, who you build with, is important. And one day we move. Go ahead.
Have you ever did you, when you got out of rehab, stay connected with those you encountered or became friends with while you were in rehab?
Yeah.
Those are the ones that help.
That's the ones that, yeah, those are the guys that I'm connected to. They're still walking in what we said we're going to do. We build on each other. We help each other. You know what I mean? And when they got the same mission like me, different paths, but they still walked out that purpose of not going back, right? So we're connected. That's why I'm saying y'all got it. I'm connected to y'all now, even though you don't even know. Inside the book, in the front couple of pages, our emails in there, our telephone numbers in there. It's a 1-800 number. We're all connected. So we just want to see y'all succeed. So we're connected forever. What you do with the information is up to you. But y'all all got it. Y'all got to remember, anywhere but back. If you get that part, right, that's a box. You check that. And all you have to do, I'm telling you, don't complicate it. It has to be simplified. The only thing that you must remember, no matter what happened,
Don't go back.
go that way. You got it. That part has to be locked. Because you're going to see people falling by the wayside. You're going to see people going back, and you're going to be, I see them. They like, man, I see my friends all the time. I'll be like, well, okay, man. They drop it. All right, you think it's different back there, huh? But you know what I can't do? I can reach back and pull them up, but I can't go back. And the only way you can keep yourself forward is not going back.
And you know what I like that my husband does? If someone is struggling in an area, because a lot of times we want to help, and my husband has that heart. He wants to help, but he doesn't turn around and go to where they are to help. He say, "Follow me."
Yeah, I'm not going.
That's how I can help you. If you having a struggle in this area, and I tell you I struggle here, come do what I do. Follow me. Follow me. Isn't that what Christ says? Follow me. So follow me as I follow Christ. He tell him, but no, don't ask me to come to the liquor store. Don't ask me to do those things. Yeah. You want me to talk to you? Then you come out that liquor store and you come to where I am. Follow me. Follow me. So you have to be mindful. Remember, small vices. You have to be mindful. Someone wants that help, but they want you to come to where they are. Now you there, you smelling it, you seeing it. That's a pull on you. They really want the help. They need to step out and follow you. Because we don't want to go back. You think you're going back to help, but that could be a setup.
And you think it's nothing. Matter of fact, now that she said that about the liquor store, I think that's what my friend asked me to take him. Mm-hmm. Yo, before you leave, ride me to the liquor store. I looked at my wife and said, man, let's go. He like, man, you ain't even asked me. Man, you better figure it out, because I'm not taking you. Right. And this is my childhood friend. Like, When I was in the hospital with COVID, he came to my window, was outside the window like, man, don't die now, man. He came to my, he was outside the window, he said, I ain't coming in, but I'm out here. I'm just letting you know I'm here, man. But that made my day. He was the same person when I was sick, came to the window and was outside the window like, man, don't die now, man. Right? But that same person, friend like, look how close of a friend he is. I'm sick, he comes to the window. He asked me to take him to the liquor store. I told him no, even though we have a bond, because I had to be worried about me.
He understood.
And he understood.
And he understood. He didn't even put up a fight.
Right.
Nope.
So you got to understand that. I want to help people, but I can't go back to you and help you. I got to keep going forward. You got questions, buddy?
No. No, I'm just going with that. Sorry.
And you have to go out. You have to go after this as hard as you went after the drug or the gambling or sex or whatever your problem or issue that you're struggling with. Whatever that thing is, you have to go after this new lifestyle just as hard.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw my husband tear his Achilles, had a whole boot, had surgery, climbed on top of the house to break in, walked down the hill way downtown from where we live to go get it, walked back to sit in the garage and get hot with a boot. Now we clean and we're in a beautiful building like this where we can get fed physically and spiritually and get dealt with in our heart and our emotions, right? And we got a little cold, we don't want to get up and come to class. You get what I'm saying? Because a cold didn't stop you back then. No matter. You can get cursed out, you can get degraded, he can tell you to clean up dog poop, chicken poop, and you would do it for just a little piece. But soon as somebody that love you and you clean and sober say, you know what, can you take out the trash? Or, I would ask my husband something like this, like, don't go there. You don't need to go there. Man, I'm a grown man. You don't tell me what to do. But when you're a grown man, when the dope dealer was cussing you out and calling you all kind of low lifes and everything, you didn't tell him you was a grown man. So why you telling me? So you have to go after it for you with that same tenacity, perseverance, and strength that you did to chase that other thing. You have to. No excuses. You didn't want to hear nothing. If you didn't have no money, you found a way to get the money. You lied, you stole, whatever you had to do to get it. That's where you are this time. That's the selfish part. Whatever you have to do to keep this, to maintain what you already have obtained, that's what you got to do.
So the lesson of the day we're going to do is always visualize vertically. We're on page 37. Page 37, my expectation for this group, everyone will learn what they need to learn while they're in development stage. Everyone will learn what they need to learn while you're in your development stage. I'll go over it. Always live off your vision, never live off your sight. Your sight shows you what's now, but your vision shows you what's to come. Unbelief in ourselves is so prevalent that we do not wish to say anything that might be interpreted as excusing it. But for all our being so slow to believe in ourselves, I still think that we sometimes blame ourselves for unbelief when our troubles is nothing more than our inability to visualize. If you have a willing mind and are truly ready to make some minor adjustments in your life, you will have to learn how to always visualize vertically. Everybody say always. Always. Visualize. Vertically. The reason why I say my expectation is you will need to learn what you need in the development stage is because when you think about the insect, the butterfly, a lot of people think the insect, the caterpillar goes from the caterpillar to grow up right to be the adult butterfly. They think that's the only two stages. But actually, when the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, it's called a different insect, and it's called the pupa. The P-U-P-A. The pupa is the insect that's in the stage of development. This particular place where you are, you're in your stage of development. The reason why I say that is because if you can't adjust to rules and make changes in here, once you go out there as the adult butterfly, it's going to be too late because you're going to be right at it. You're not going to try to change out there. That's why this is your development stage. This is the place where you start working on changing things. One of the things that I learned in my last rehabilitation center was they had rules in place, right? So they had these particular rules, what I call stupid rules, right? So they had one rule, it was an all-male facility, and at night, 3 o'clock in the morning, I had to go to the bathroom. I would get up, go to the bathroom, right? But in this particular program, you couldn't go with like pajama pants and a tank top. You had to literally put on a full sleeve shirt. You could have your pajama pants, but you could not go to the bathroom with a tank top. Now, to me, I'm like, that is the dumbest rule ever, right? So I would always go out, but they had like hall monitors, and I would go to the bathroom. As soon as I come out the bathroom, they say, "We got you, Mike. See you in the morning." I go to the room. They catch me. Next night, go to the bathroom, tank top. "Hey, Mike, we got you again, man." They carry me up. So one day they brought me before the board, the administrators, and they sat down and you had the meeting about the sanctions because all these write-ups. They said, "Mike, what's going on? You know, the rule is you put on a full t-shirt, some pajama pants, and go to the bathroom." I said, "That's the stupidest rule ever." And they all looked at each other and started talking. They said, "You don't want to tell them?" They said, "Yeah, let's tell them." They said, "We know it's a stupid rule. We put stupid rules in place and see if you can follow it." And I said, "Why would you do that?" They said, "Because the #1 rule in addiction is don't pick up. And you keep breaking that stupid rule." And it made sense. I said, wow, they taught me something. The reason why I kept going to pick up, everybody in the field of addiction knows the #1 rule is don't pick it up. But we keep breaking that stupid rule. And if you keep doing that in here, it's showing you your pattern. You think the rule is stupid, but you can't keep it. You keep breaking it. You need to develop. You're in your development stage. Try to train yourself to follow the rule. So when you leave and it pops up and it comes to you, think about the rule. Don't pick it up. Remember, I told you, a boat don't care about water. It's only when the water get weird. Yeah. It's the same thing with our addiction. As long as the heroin and the crack stay outside you, you can get you a cup of coffee and walk around all day. It ain't going to do anything to you. It has no power. It needs you, watch this, it needs you to put it in you. And that's, we can we not understand that? It has no power. It literally needs you to take it and say, if it can talk, I'm trying to kill you. I need you to put me in you so I can kill you. Right now, if it can actually talk, what you'll do? "Hey, I need you to put me in you. I'm trying to kill you. I want you to put me in you so I can kill you." You'll be like, "Man, get out of here." But that's exactly what it needs. So remember, this place is your development stage. Whatever you need to develop has to start now. If you want to build your relationship with your any type of recovery support system, your spirituality, whatever, you have to develop it now because you can't wait till you get out there. You can start to work on it out there, but you can't start. There's nobody that's going to be walking around here breaking every rule they got in here and then going to get out there and try to follow all the rules that's in the world. It's not going to work like that. You got to start here. So the word visualize means to form a mental image of something that's incapable of being viewed or not currently visible. Who do you visualize about? In my book I wrote, when our dominant desires are bad, our whole life is bad. When the desires are good, our life comes up to the level of our desires. That's one of my favorite authors, A.W. Tozer. He says, when your desires, your dominant desires, what desires? Remember I said, what's your intentions? What's your goals? We all have them. Whatever desire we have, whatever's the most dominant one, that's what our life is going to go to. My most dominant desire is to see men and women walking the path that, like I did, living a life away from where we came from. That's my heartbeat, to inspire individuals to go after something greater than they see right now. What happens when you do? When you visualize? Where did you get your form, your image from? That's a good question. All these questions, when you figure about the first bullet, it says, what do you visualize about? Now you have to find out, where did you form that image from? Remember the guy was saying, I feel like I'm a burden to somebody. That came from somewhere. So you need to find out where you formed your image from that you're visualizing about. Why do you think that image is in your mind? Because sometimes we have a lot of bad images and stuff in our minds. We have to find out why we think we have them. Where does your sight show you? What does your sight show you? There's a word, it's called comorbidity. C-O-M-O-R-B-I-D-I-T word. Why? And this is when I found out the word and looked up the word. It says it means it's two or more issues occurring at the same time. They can occur at the same time or one after another. And that's so important because you can have your sight and you got a vision. Your sight shows you right now, I'm in the Salvation Army. But you can have a vision too. They both go on at the same time. You have to carry it out. That's why you got to always visualize vertically. When I was actively smoking crack and heroin, that was my sight, right? But watch how my vision spoke. When I was actively using drugs, I used to say out my mouth to her, I won't always be on drugs. Because I had my sight, right, what I was doing. My vision showed me I won't always be like this. Now I ain't know, because she used to be like, boy, I sure wish you hurry up. But Ashley, I used to be on it, and I would say, I won't always be like this. That was my vision speaking. So you got both of them going on. You have it. I know y'all had dreams and desires as you were growing up, and you probably still got them, and some of y'all might have laid them down because of the present situation or the past situation you went through. I'm here to tell you, pick those visions and stuff back up. You had those desires. They're still yours. You can still see them come to fruition. You just don't just throw them away. Now, that's two things going on. Your sight shows you what's now. Everybody say always. Visualize. Vertically. You have to. It says, what does your vision show you? Miles Monroe, another author I listen to read. What does your vision show you? He said in his book, your vision is a preview of your purpose. And when I think about that, he says, when I had the vision of me never being on drugs, that was just a vision. That was a preview of what I was going to be doing. And I didn't even know. I just was saying it just like you got to do. Open up your mouth and say it. Do you believe in yourself? That's a powerful statement. Sometimes we don't.
Do you believe in yourself?
I do that.
You do that?
Yeah.
Getting there?
That's good.
It's already in you to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Because every time my husband went to the dope man, he already believed that whatever plan he came up with was going to work.
That's right. Yeah.
So he had enough confidence. I don't care what kind of scheme it was. He knew. He believed without a shadow of doubt. Even if he came to me for money or whatever he came up with,
That's true.
He believed enough about how he had planned it out
that it was going to work. That's right.
So if you can believe that way, you should be able to believe it this way because it's already in you.
You've got to believe in yourself. So one of the things I want to tell you is the boy, Law and Standard. One day the kid was outside playing basketball, shooting on the floor, and trying to dunk. His father would come home from work, see him out there every day, shooting, trying to dunk the ball. Father would say hi, go in the house, relax. Look out the window, his son's still out there trying to do it. And so one day his dad come home, kids out there doing everything on the court. He run in the house, Dad, I got it. So Dad said, you got what? He said, I can dunk, man. He said, man, you ain't no way you dunking. I just seen you all month. You ain't nowhere near it, right? So he said, come on out, Dad. He called his dad outside. And he ran back. And sure enough, the kid go up, 2-hand dunk. Oh! So his dad said, this guy must think I'm stupid. So his dad go to the court and crank it back up to the standard of 10 feet. And he used the opportunity to tell his son something and said, listen, son, don't never lower the standard and say you achieved something. Let the standard stay where it is, believe in yourself, and then you call it success. So a lot of times what we're doing, we keep lowering the standard. What I mean by lowering the standard, okay, my problem was cracking heroin, but I'm gonna do beer and marijuana. I'm trying to lower the standard instead of believing myself that I don't need nothing. You gotta believe in yourself. If you think you're don't try to lower the standard and try to walk it out. And I know that they got a lot of different things that we can use now to help us with our recovery path. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you trying to lower the standard to make an easy way around going through the difficult course that you need to go through to make your path more smoother than it is now or was previously. Don't lower the standard. Believe in yourself. Everybody say, I believe in myself. Yeah. The Bible says all things are possible for those who believe. You would be surprised at how many people don't move forward in life just because of how they see themselves. You have to see yourself free from being in bondage. See yourself more than a conqueror. See yourself as the parent that you always wanted. See yourself free from coming back here. Or see yourself doing something productive in your community. See yourself being responsible. See yourself being children your parents raised you to be. And see yourself as a better person. Close your eyes and see yourself doing it. You gotta visualize. You gotta have a vision. Before I speak, I already saw myself speaking. I tell people all the time, I already spoke. They say, you nervous? Nah, I already did it. They say, how you already did it? I saw myself doing it. I visualized all of y'all here. I visualized speaking to y'all. And I visualized it all the time. No matter where I go, I have a vision of me already doing it. You can do the same thing. Remember, you got two things going on. You got your sight and you got your vision. The vision that you have, that you probably put down because of whatever circumstance. And I'm telling you, grab hold of it again. It's not going. It's not over. No matter how old you are. We were just talking to somebody. They said, when you get my age, you ain't going to know. We was like, how old are you? He said, 54. I said, I'm 52. What do you mean? I am your age. It's not over. There is no way you're going to convince me that it's over. When you start living a different life, I cannot make this up. You're going to start living a total different life. You're going to feel so young that you're going to think, am I losing my mind? Because
he forget his age all the time.
Yeah, that's a real story. I'll be like, hold on. Yeah, I'm telling you, listen. The stuff that you used to enjoy doing is still the things you enjoy doing. Minor adjustments is not telling you got to throw all of those things away. Some of y'all, like I said, y'all probably can build a house. You just got gifts and you got talents. That came when you were born. You got that. That's not going anywhere. You might as well use those. The things we see now are here today, going tomorrow. But the things we can't see now will last forever. That's your vision. So the vision is going to last forever. It's going to go on. It's the purpose of the Minor Adjustments Program, right? Is to connect with individuals who went down the same path that I have went down. When we leave here, y'all going, no matter, y'all leave here, y'all still going to have something that sticks with y'all, right? And y'all going to be talking to somebody else, and y'all going to learn lessons from when we was together. And they're going to pass that lesson on. You're going to pass it on to someone. Then they're going to pass it on to someone. Then they're going to pass it on to someone. That's how you got to think, not just about now. Think about other people. Somebody are praying for you. You got people praying for you, and you are the answers to those people's prayers. So always remember that. There's a book written by an author named Shalanda Austin. Her title of the book is Say It Till You See It. And I wrote this quote down, and she said, Get a mental picture of yourself being successful. Then ask God for directions. Everybody say direction. Resources. And whatever else I need.
Whatever else I need.
Yeah. She says, get a mental picture. Get a mental picture of yourself being successful. And ask God, God, give me the direction, the resources, and whatever else I need to make my vision come to fruition. So whatever, you got to have a mental picture of it. What are you going to do? This is only your development stage. You're not going to be here forever. You're going to be here as long as you believe you need to stay here. Don't be in a rush to leave. I was in a program and they gave you opportunities to stay longer. My wife, me thinking she going to say, yeah, you know, you got to come home. She said, you want to stay longer? I'm like, what? I'm ready to go. She said, you don't have to rush to come home. She said, do you need to stay longer? Because her ultimate goal was seeing me succeed, not rushing home to do the same thing. So you got to remember, stay here in your development stage. Everybody say, this is my development stage. Don't rush to get out there and do the same thing. You got to remember.
You got to come home to help with bills.
Yeah, don't rush.
Oh, you got to help me with bills. Well, when you was home, you didn't help me with bills. You was a bill.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Page 40 at the bottom, go for the day. It says, visualize this thing that you want. See it, feel it, believe in it. Make your mental blueprint and begin to build. Begin to build. You got to visualize the thing that you want. Reason why this topic is in here about visualizing, because we can get stuck and stagnant on our present situation, and we will just discredit where we're headed. You have to have a vision. Write it down. Right. I'm telling you, write all the time. If you are a person that write things down, don't discredit the thoughts that comes to your mind. You might be at the lunch table, somebody say something, and it'd be like, man, that seems like something I need to have on my paper. Write those thoughts down. It's very important. Let's move. 41. Says, as long as you keep staring and staring at the obvious, you'll never be able to see the forest for the trees. Therefore, it is important to always live off your vision and never live off your sight. Your sight showed you what's now, but your vision showed you what's to come. Right now, your sight shows you that your current situation is what your current situation is. Watch these words. And it's true. But your vision shows you where you could be. And that's also true. Don't waste time on small dreams. Dream big. There's nothing wrong with small dreams. But if it's your dream, then why not dream big? Always visualize vertically. Come on.
You write all this, right?
Yeah. Huh? So when you think about somebody else's dreams, right? When you think about dreaming big, anytime you dream big, anytime you're dreaming, if it's your dream, right? You're going to dream big. And there's nothing wrong with it, right? Because I'd rather I heard the statement, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you still be amongst the stars. Like you missed it, you ain't hit the moon, but you still up there with the stars. So you might as well dream big. The word vertical means a vertical upright position. These words is very important. Always being in the same direction. This is, I'm gonna keep giving y'all all types of things that I use in my life. The only individuals I want in my circle are the people who are always going in the same direction. I can help people who are struggling, but if you really want to connect with me, right, and stay attached and plugged into me, you have to be going in the same direction. It's too late in the game for us to be trying to go in a different direction. Now remember, it depends on how much percentage if you're putting in. Are you 70-30, 80-20, 60-40? No. I need you to be 100% focused on going that way. Everybody say anywhere. But back. So always being in the same direction. Who do you want to be? You want to visualize success. Who do you want to be? I want to be a person that I'm able to allow God to use my life to show individuals or give individuals hope that it's possible. That's all I want people to see. When they see me, they see my wife, I want individuals to know it's possible. Was our marriage where it is today, all those years ago? No, but it's possible. So I want individuals to know you can restore all that. Because I had literally snatched my own wife's pocketbook. I was on crack, she was in the car, I snatched the pocketbook, ran, yeah, literally, right? To the point where people be like, did he really do that? And she's like, yeah, he snatched my pocketbook.
You robbed me.
I robbed my own I robbed my own wife. But for people to see our marriage restored, that give people hope. Because nobody can tell me what God can do. I know where I was and I know where he has taken me. And the only reason I come to places here, I come here and go wherever he sends us, is to give y'all hope that is possible. Everybody say it's possible.
And we share the worst of us, what happens, or even things now. If you need to ask us, because we share the worst of us just so we can show you what God can do.
Yeah.
It takes a willing heart. Now, he had to be willing individually, and I had to be willing individually, and then he worked it out collectively. But we had to have our own individual relationship with God for him to do what was needed, the work that needed to be done. You have to do it. You can't, don't look at us now. Don't look at us now and try to go from here to there. Not saying it's impossible because God can do anything, but make sure you have that individual relationship with him so he can direct you. He can tell you who you are. That's important, because once you know who you are, who he created you for, and who he created you to be, and the purpose that he had in store for you, this little small stuff can't stop you.
At all.
Because it won't measure up to the king that God created you to be. You all are kings. You all are kings, every last one of you. There is a kingdom here on earth that God designed specifically for you in your vein, for you to be able to lead others.
Absolutely.
It could be 1 or 2 people, but those 1 or 2 people may be able to lead 500. You understand? The guy that helped us so much, every time he sees my husband, it gives him life. Because sometimes he gets discouraged because he works in the ministry, he works with addiction, but sometimes you send people away and they go away and then they come back and you keep sending them away. The same person, you keep sending them away. And you're like, God, am I doing what you told me?
Yeah.
And then you can walk through the door. And God said, yeah, because you were where I wanted you to be. Look at his life.
Yeah.
That's each one of you.
Each of y'all. Everybody has somebody that's connected. Because ultimately, realistically, I guarantee, if you start the process of changing your life, people are going to start to see you that I don't know, but they know you. Mm-hmm. When they see you do it, because watch this is what they believe, you were worse than them. They're going to always say, man, he was worse than me, right? Watch this. This is what my friend said, man, yeah, you was worse. You was the worst person, addict as all of us, right? And I say this, okay, if I was, then what's your excuse? Why you still doing it? If I was the worst and my life changed, what's your excuse? So when people going to see you, and they will start the process after they see you do it, because some of them, just like you said, they might not believe they can do it. They don't believe in themselves. But when they see you do it,
They know it's a God.
they go, no, I can do it. I know I can do it. You're going to stare people up to do it just because they going to be like, there ain't no way I'm going to let him to be just blessed like that. And I'm sitting over here struggling. They're going to start the process. What direction are you always looking in? These questions is I'm gonna just go through the bullets and you read them on your own time, write it on your own time. Where does your vision say you should be? Why won't you look higher than here? Do you have any dreams or desire? Do you waste time on small dreams? What's blocking you from looking vertical? That means the same direction. Page 43. Life is one big road with lots of signs. So when you're riding through the ruts, don't complicate your mind. Flee from hate, mischief, and jealousy. Don't bury your thoughts. Put your vision to reality. Wake up and live. Keep your dreams alive. Understand that achieving anything requires faith and belief in yourself, vision, hard work, determination, and dedication. All those words right there, y'all should highlight it, underline it, circle it. All those words you need. Faith, belief in yourself, vision, hard work, determination, and dedication. A lot of times people say, I want to be motivational like you, but everybody say motivation only gets me started. It's my dedication that keeps me going. So I can motivate you today or this weekend, right? The motivation to be gone by Monday if you don't get dedicated to minor adjustments and making changes. I'll come down here and motivate you all day long. I can motivate a whole lot of people, right? But it's your dedication that will keep you going. So motivation, remember, all things are possible for those who do what? Look in the book, page 43.
Write down and go over anything that you're feeling regarding you looking vertical.
The
Last line in 43.
Remember, all things are possible
For what?
for those who
Who believe. Yeah. If you believe it, you gotta believe that you can see yourself successful. You gotta believe it. Anybody that can you believe seeing yourself living a different life than you used to live? So today we're gonna come back after lunch and we're gonna do 2 more lessons after lunch. And that will be, we will do, let's see what lessons we're doing at lunch. We would do, after lunch we're going to do endurance. We're going to do endurance, and then we're going to do minor adjustments in humility, and then we're going to do graduation on Sunday. Any more questions before we close out till lunch? Y'all mind, don't wait. If you got any questions, you want to ask them now. And if you see us walking around, if you don't want to ask it publicly, you can pull us over and ask this privately, all right?
I got one for your wife.
Go ahead.
How did you feel when he snatched your pocket?
What? Like crap. I felt terrible. He snatched my pocketbook. We had just came home, one of our youngest daughters. And our oldest daughter was in the hospital, had just given birth to our oldest grandson. And so the pregnancy was a little rough for her, so she was in one hospital and our grandson was in another. So we were staying at Ronald McDonald House in Philly. We came home to let the dog out, give the dog some water and food, put him back in the kennel, and run back across the bridge to the hospital. Well, I let my daughter in. I kept my foot on the brake of the navigator. I didn't put it in park. I'm like, hurry up, go in, let the dog in, blah, 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 come out. And he came from behind the house because he had been trying to break in, and he couldn't get in. He had a ladder up to the 2nd floor. He couldn't get in because I had my uncle come and nail nails in the windows of this home. So he nailed the windows down to keep me from breaking in. So he came around, and I had my door open, and of course, let me in my house, it's my house, I need to take a shower, I need to change my clothes. I'm like, go back where you've been, go back where you've been. And he reached over me, and my pocketbook was in the middle, and he snatched my pocketbook and took off running. And I was like, did this just happen? But in the moment, I jumped out the car because all my money to get back across the bridge is in his purse. So I jumped out the car. Mind you, the car was not in park. So I jumped out the car and started chasing him. The car is going down the street. I'm screaming and hollering for a daughter who ran track. She runs out the house and she comes to me to try to grab him because I got his shirt, but he's bigger than me. So I'm holding on to his shirt and he's throwing them blows back, like trying to snatch me off. So she comes to help me and I'm like, get that car. So in the meantime, he gets the money and the neighbors called the cops. How did I feel? I couldn't believe it happened. I was hurt. I got to get back to my daughter and my grandbaby, and then the man that I love just literally snatched my purse. So I was devastated.
And how did you feel when reality kicked in?
Oh, at that particular time, I didn't care. I wanted to
watch the cops.
No. When I say how did
I mean, after the fact, when I got, yeah.
Like, damn, I really did that.
I knew how bad my situation was when I got to that point where it's because before I used to just let her go to sleep and steal the money. I got to that point when the reality set in, like, yo, I'm at the point where, that's why I tell people all the time, when people are under the influence, you don't be around them. It's not that, because they're unpredictable. Right. Because the drug will tell them to do stuff that they would normally do. That's why I be like, yo, listen, right now they under the influence, keep everybody away from, you don't know. So at that particular time when it set in, I knew how bad where I was. I was like, yo, I'm at my, like, literally the worst I ever been. Whereas though I wasn't willing to wait to her to go to sleep to get the money. I was like, no, now, give me the money now. I'm going to get some crack, So yeah, once that went, but I share all that with people to let them know, even in that worst state situation, for us to still be together, right? And still work past all that situation. That's why when people find themselves who are in real bad situations, that's why it says all things are possible for those who can believe it. It can change. It can change. I'm telling you, you just don't know. Some of y'all probably had beautiful relationships and you like, man, check that up. I had a nice situation. Like, man, if I should have just stayed focused what I was doing. And it's not saying you might not get that particular relationship restored, but the connection you had with that person or that type of person, that was a perfect match. Because a lot of times we think people, what completes the puzzle are the same pieces, but not really. My mentor said, if you look at a puzzle pieces, it's the pieces that are different that connect. So a lot of times you be trying to look for somebody that match you when really that won't complete the puzzle.
Is there a point where you thought maybe you never get clean? Or you think you're going to do it at some point?
A lot of times I thought that, but I would never say it.
Yeah.
I would never say it. See, I grew up in church, so I still had a hope in me through all the hurt. I had a hope because I knew that this was a beautiful man. And I kept looking at him through those eyes. Like, even when he would be at his worst state, like he really looked bad. When I looked at him, I saw the man that I met. So I kept seeing a beautiful man, so that just kept giving me hope. Even when he snatched my pocketbook, I was in like, okay, maybe he not. Maybe I'm crazy. Because that's what everybody was saying. There's no way in the world, girl, you must be crazy.
You must be crazy.
I never forget. My mom said, you can't be mine.
Then they started telling you, are you using? Like, I just can't with it. Did you miss it, man? Start using? And then, people start thinking you, because a lot of times, but this is the thing that you have with your loved ones, the love that they have for you. One thing I love about my wife, what she did was she didn't listen to people. She went by what she felt in her heart, her spirit, what she felt God should tell her to do. Because if she would have listened to people, then, that would have been a whole different thing.
And I wasn't listening at the time. I was developing my own relationship and communicating with God. So when I was hurt and I wasn't doing that part, I was just focusing on the hurt. People can tell me anything, stay away from him, you need to put a restraining order on him, and I did that. I put a restraining order on a couple of times. But when I started praying and I started, God, I need you to help me. It was no longer like, God, I need you to help him, because all the prayers was directed to him. And I was steady saying, God, do this for him, never thinking about me. Because when he would go to rehab, right, he would get help. And then he would come home and I'd still be the same. So I didn't get help. And when he would be in rehab, we couldn't communicate about things that we were going through or dealing with because it went against recovery, right? And then when he would come home and he would relapse, he didn't give a darn about none of those things because now he's focused on the drug. So what about me? So it was my point where I had to be selfish and say, you know what, God, he's in your hands. I need help. I need help.